Okay, guys, good afternoon. So this is the task 3. Today we are going to have our debate. Remember that the topic for today is terminally ill patients should have a right to end their lives. So how are you today, guys? How do you feel?
Just fine. Yeah. So ready to get into the motion.
Okay, perfect. So, um, the situation today is that Gerson is the only person on the team. So we have Kari, Juliet, and Natalia. You are on the pro team. So what I'm gonna do is that you girls, you're gonna have 10 minutes to prepare your speech to um, to check or well to choose in this case who is gonna be the person who is gonna introduce the topic and introduce the group. So girls, you're gonna have 10 minutes and Gerson, in that case, you're gonna have 10 minutes also, so you can just organize your ideas and check what do you want to share with us today. Okay. So since now it's
All
2:30,
right.
2:23, so see you at 2:33. I'm gonna leave the meeting. Okay. So you can share your information. Any
All
questions?
right.
Thank you,
That,
teacher.
Okay.
that's okay.
Thank you.
Question.
Nos dejó solo la profe.
Ah, ok.
Okay.
Entonces,
Pero yo creo que
mm,
entonces el compañero te va a que salirse también.
sí, porque él
Y a
es
las y 33 entra.
Él es nuestro enemigo, bueno, no nuestro enemigo,
Nuestro
nuestro...
enemigo.
Why do you wanna take me out of the class?
Eso es muy
Ok.
nervioso.
I'm not gonna listen to you.
Okay, who starts?
Ella ya dijo que yo quiero hacer la tercera, ok. Yo no quiero presentar, yo no quiero, yo tengo mucho miedo aquí.
You have 10 minutes, Kathy,
Ajá,
for
tendría los
prepare
primeros 3
of
minutos.
the presentation of the group.
Bueno,
Yes,
hablemos
you.
primero de los argumentos que vamos a dar, ¿no?
Ok, pues con base, hablemos, pues, todo eso se vale en español. Primero serían, pues lo que yo tengo entendido en el orden es, primero van pues como la explicación o lo básico de la temática, digamos. Si estamos a favor es como, estoy a favor por esto, esto y esto. Ya en el segundo speech sería como tipo, por ejemplo, en mi caso, con base a lo que yo preparé.
No, chicas, no hay un segundo speech. Solo es una intervención de 2 minutos. A Gerson es el que le toca 2 porque él está solo.
No,
Hello,
me
girls.
refiero para darle continuidad. A Katy le tocan los primeros 3
Let
y
me
ella...
let me tell you something, girls. The girl, the teacher, she left the meeting, but I can see that the meeting is still being recorded. I think I'm not very sure, but I think that the conversation should be in English. I don't know, just in case.
Yeah. Good
I
point.
think that it should be in English because it is being recorded.
Entonces,
I don't know.
yo creo que va así, miren. Entonces, como después de cada intervención de cada una de nosotras, el compañero va a hacer o 2, creo que 2 intervenciones. Entonces, por eso digo, la primera sería como explicar el por qué está a favor, la segunda que ya es como con datos puntuales como cuando ¿cómo
Yo
se dice?
empiezo la segunda, lo que voy a recalcar en la segunda es
Que
ya cuando se aprobó
bueno,
y toda esta
en
cuestión. Esa es la segunda intervención.
1997 y las 2 reformas que tiene, ¿cierto? Esa sería como la segunda parte del speech de nosotras y ya para tercero yo daría como una conclusión general sobre lo controversial que es estar a favor de pues,
La
la eutanasia.
conclusión general es cuando todos hagamos las preguntas.
Sí.
No, me refiero en nuestra punto.
Tú tienes que dar tus argumentos.
Por eso mi argumento ya para finalizar, porque tenemos que llevar un orden, sería como la conclusión que yo había hecho, no general del debate, sino del argumento de estar a favor. ¿Me estoy explicando bien?
Yes.
Ok, entonces sería...
No, ahí no está.
Okay, entonces, Katy primero, luego la compañera y ya. ¿Tú estás segura que tú dices que yo no? Seguro que esta vez no quiero.
No, yo no quiero ser primera, me da tanto miedo equivocarme. Y ya ahí, el compañero, ¿cuántas intervenciones va a hacer usted? O sea, ¿va a hablar después de Katy y después de la compañera Juliet o solo va a hacer una intervención después de Katy?
Solo son two interventions.
So I'll just wait for you to give your arguments and then I'll start with mine as well.
Entonces yo creo que
Yeah.
sería mejor, ¿sabe cómo creo yo que sería mejor? Que hablara Katy, interviene usted, luego habla Juliet, hablo yo y usted interviene como para que tenga los dos de una vez. Porque sería como que sus dos intervenciones quedarían en el medio de nosotras tres.
All right.
I don't know. What do you prefer?
Ok,
I don't know.
entonces así quedamos bien.
Yes.
Bueno, ya nos toca esperar que sean las y 33.
Ay, Dios,
Well,
ayúdame.
I think that you can guys
Estoy
give your
jaleo.
arguments, and once you have given your arguments, you can then tell me,
My
okay, Harrison, what are your arguments, or something kind of like that. You can give me, or what is your position? Well, but you give me the entrance for me to keep going with the debate.
Ay, no sé cómo explicar.
Bueno, la introducción más o menos sería que explicar qué es un enfermo terminal, que esa parte la voy a decir, que el enfermo terminal es aquel cuyo destino dado su diagnóstico de evolución y falta de respuesta positiva al tratamiento es con seguridad casi absoluta la muerte. Entre ellos me gustaría mencionar aquellos que padecen junto al deterioro incesante del soma, el hundimiento progresivo de la mente, como ocurre en la enfermedad del Alzheimer y en la esclerosis múltiple. Desde ahí yo voy a decir que estoy a favor.
Remember, a minute. It's a minute. Only a minute. No te vayas a pasar porque de igual manera tienes que iniciar 1 minuto nada más y 2 minutos de tu argumento. ¿Ok?
The most ever international controls. Ok. En el simplemente sería como para, pues, porque ya sé como el último, como para cerrar los argumentos a favor, es como que es una posición controversial, pero básicamente hay que entender las razones por las cuales las personas como que toman esta decisión. Y otra cosa, como al final de todo, lo que yo digo es como que es una elección personal, aclaremos eso, porque no es como que toda persona terminal, por más que tenga la posibilidad de aplicarse la eutanasia, quiere decir que lo vaya a hacer. Es como el aborto. El aborto pueda que si lo llegan a legalizar no significa que todas las personas dentro del parámetro del embarazo vayan a decidir abortar. Entonces como lo último para finalizar, que eso es como de muy personal y una elección muy propia.
I agree with you.
¿Listo? Ay, Dios mío, ¿por qué siempre me da por reírme?
Are you ready?
Sorry. Yes, ready. Ay. Mírame con ojos de misericordia. No me dejes arruinarlo. Yo saben que tenía yo.
Las preguntas, en serio.
Ay. Compañero, por favor, no nos tire tan duro. Solo son 2 preguntas. Por favor, no nos tire duro.
No me preguntes a mí.
cositas.
You
Preguntitas
don't
simples.
ask me. You are 3 against 1 person.
Okay, yo mire,
myself.
si yo hago una pregunta sería así sencillita como ¿por qué cree que es mejor como esperar a que la persona, pues si es un enfermo terminal, o sea, como que la enfermedad acabe con él? Sería así. ¿Por qué cree usted que sería mejor esperar que la enfermedad acabe con él y no morirse antes? O sea, no elegir morirse antes. Algo así. Ya mire que ya se la estoy diciendo para que ya sepa cómo.
I have a question.
Debería
¿Vas a tocar
decirlo.
tema religioso de casualidad en tu
Argumentos.
your argument? Topic, religion, I don't know.
The religion is the...
Or no. Tell me, please.
Sí, ya va, que falta 1 minuto, porfa. Díganos algo rápido que nos sirva para...
So you're talking to me. So of course, one of the arguments, not all of them, but one of the arguments that go against euthanasia is, of course, religion reasons, but there are some other arguments.
I have a question for you.
What is it? But we are not in the debate yet. No, I'm not.
Labor euthanasia is the controversial positions. My reasons for being the first labor are understanding people of the terminal situation are but advanced incredible the sense what his personal his is the room to make decisions regarding aspects should be one to
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
Ton, 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 ton. Voy a preparar mi pregunta de una vez.
Me too.
Ya se la dije. Antes de que la profesora entre, podría decir las, no sé, las ideas que tiene como para preguntas, como para uno ya ir pensando qué responder. En Spanish, please. Enfermedad, no, para tener una idea, porque... ¡Ay, nervous! No me quiero equivocar.
Okay, guys, your time's up.
Hello. Again.
Hello.
Hi. How are you? Okay, so guys, I'm gonna share my screen with you. Please let me know if you can see it. One moment.
Yes, I can see the screen.
Okay, perfect. Mhm. Okay, guys, so I was mentioned that I'm gonna be your moderator. So as soon as I finish the motion, you can start, okay? Remember that the first group is the protein. So our debating for today, the topic is terminally ill, patients should have a right to own their life. So the greatest challenge that any person faces at a given moment is having lived well and accepting the arrival of death. People hope and wish to reach old age and die without any pain in a peaceful way. Let's say on that way. On a daily basis, many people experience both life and death, but not in the same way. Euthanasia is the means by which a patient with a terminal illness who is going through unbearable suffering can die with dignity and peace. without having to further prolong their useless suffering, which only ends up degrading their physical, and spiritual condition. So, having said that, should terminally ill patients have a right to end their lives?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are the team in favor. The members are Natalia Vergara, Edith, and Katy Medrano. In the first place, I would like to express that the terminal patient is the one destined, given his diagnostic evolution and lack of possibility response, and so to try me is that. Among them, I would like to mention number one, those who suffer along with the necessary deterioration of the soma and the progressive skin of the mean as a course in Alzheimer's disease and multiple sclerosis. And so from there, I am in favor of terminally patients ending their life because they have already lost the right to live a decent, a decent life because presence of advanced and incurable disease, had very little chance of effective treatment, has many problems or symptoms, are emotionally affected, and the prognosis of life than 6 months. And second, an analysis showed that some terminal patients die in the midst of pain and the suffering, and only 3 of the 10 patients in the country disease. Also, there is the law in 1751 of 2050 and the law in 1733 of 2014 that warrants the comprehensive care of the sick in all states, including palliative care, but there's only a quality reach a minority of them. In their place, hospices place for comprehensive patient care are extremely scarce and pediatric palliative care barely represents 90% of the total supply. With regard to education, only 8 countries on the continent recognize palliative care as a medical specialty, while in others 3 is training as the level of diplomas, course, and souls master's degree. No more.
Okay. Much is said about the quality of life that person should have in order to be able to develop normal. When the people of the euthanasia, it's because this quality of life has been lost and the patient only has to suffer intense agony until the hour of death arrives. The human being should have the right, it will be a human right to be respected, the freedom to shorten his life, or in other words, to hasten is his death in order put and to the personal and family suffering caused by the suffering of an incurable illness in the terminal phase. Here in Colombia, euthanasia will be criminalized with ruling 239 of, of 1997, which ensured dignified death as a complement to the fundamental right to life with dignity. By of 2018, CINET of Colombia decrees that the patient via Colombia or I don't know, foreign legally equipable in full use of his or her mental faculties at the time of requesting or orally or writing the termination of life in a, I don't know, dignified and humane manner in accordance of the provision or of the article 1503 ATQ of the Civil Code, and you responsible the Constitutional Court. Thanks. Continue, classmates.
All right. Hello, everyone. Is it my turn to continue with the motion? All right. So my name is Gerson Ochoa, and I'm here to go with cons against the euthanasia process. Accordingly to one of the most recent researches from the BBC of London, euthanasia goes against ethical arguments. They are also presenting practical arguments, historical arguments, and finally, religious arguments. So I'm going to start my motion by presenting the ethical arguments that the BBC of London is presenting against the euthanasia. First of all, it shows that euthanasia weakens our society, especially our society's respect for the sanctity of life.
No.
Also, accepting euthanasia accepts that someone lives or people who are disabled or sick are worth less than other people. So when you say, or when someone who has a terminally ill goes for uh, practicing the euthanasia is like saying, okay, people who are sick is not valuable. There shouldn't be in this world anymore. So there's no place, there's no room for them anymore. So they have to be cut off the earth. So that will go uh, against our ethical way of thinking as human beings. Also, the euthanasia might not be in a person's best interest. So, if they would have said euthanasia at the beginning, of course, a lot of people who are sick, maybe who are almost to end their lives. Okay, at the beginning, of course, it's gonna be taken like that, but at the end, it's gonna become like a part of our culture. And then everybody who gets sick is going to just, okay, I'm sick, I don't want to live anymore, just go with euthanasia on me. So it's not an ethical way of approaching or facing the situation that the life puts in our path through it. Okay. So those would be like the presentation of ethical arguments against euthanasia. There are some other arguments that I will present later. So you guys can go ahead with presenting your arguments and I will listen to you.
Okay. Okay. No wells be a favor on the euthanasia and this controversial position. My reason for being in the favor are to understand the needs of people in terminal state or advanced incurable disease where each person has their reach to make the decisions regarding aspect should be win to patient and feeling sorry, I'm nervous. Okay, feeling wordless the cause of the palliative where for the terminal ill personal should also be discussed. Euthanasia should be understand as a combination compassion at the assisting and digning with the dignity. Okay, in my opinion, we have the quid the creed in me that this is very personal decision of the passions we uh, sorry the passions okay the passions who are in the terminal or serious conditions if they decide to make these decisions. Okay, no more. Finish.
Okay, well, according to the practical arguments that are presented by the BBC of London here, which my research is coming from, the proper palliative care makes euthanasia unnecessary. Why? Because there's no way of properly regulating euthanasia. That means that no matter what, or no matter how medicine and doctors are going to go for reasons to give euthanasia as a mm, way out for these people who are with terminally ill. There's not a there's not gonna be a way of regulating this. How are they going to know who really wants to die because of his illness and not because of another kind of a problem that the people may have? So nowadays, and then if they say, okay, euthanasia is legal, they should accept it. Then people who suffers from stress because they have many problems, they suffer from stress, or they have many debts. They owe they owe a lot of money to the people, or they are getting crazy because of this. That is going to increase their illness, and at the end they're going to go for practicing euthanasia. But at the end, who is going to be able to regulate if inside the person that person really wants to die because of being ill or because of other problems that are around themselves? So that is one of the practical arguments. Another situation here would be that euthanasia may become a cost-effective way to treat terminal ill. So, you know, a terminally ill costs money to governments most of the times, and then, well, if they see that euthanasia is a way of saving some money that can be spent on something else, of course, a lot of people are gonna die because of euthanasia, not to make the investments that it requires. So, who is going to regulate the euthanasia is being applied because of really trying to helping people or going for business issues? Who's gonna regulate that? It's not possible to regulate that. So best thing to go is go not to go against the nature and wait for life to follow his track and give us the final word. Also, euthanasia gives too much power to doctors. Who's going to regulate doctors? Who's going to regulate what the doctor says? Or on the other hand, in our society nowadays, a lot of people, plenty of people who are sick, and they don't have a family, or sometimes they do, but their family don't wanna take care of them. So what is gonna be the best way out? Okay, so euthanasia for this person because her or his children are grown up and they don't want to take care of their parents or their family. Then the best way out is gonna go. But who's gonna regulate that euthanasia is really what has to be done? Okay, that is in terms of practical arguments. Also can be added that moral pressure on elderly relatives by selfish families. What I was just saying, okay, this my father, my mom, they're so old, they're very sick. I don't have the time to take care of them. I don't have the money. It's okay. They're going to start pushing and going for euthanasia. And who's going to regulate that? There's not a way to regulate it. So another thing here important to come into motion here to be the okay. I think that is enough. 3 minutes. Okay, I will continue with more arguments until you continue presenting more of yours as well. So thank you for listening, and you can keep going. Do you guys have any more arguments?
No more arguments.
No
It's
more
only
arguments.
intervention.
Okay.
Okay.
Is
Okay, no more
and
arguments.
I
Well, Harrison, if you have anything else to say, you can go ahead.
Well, I have also looked up here on the internet that there are also historical arguments such as the voluntary euthanasia is the start or slippery slope that leads to involuntary euthanasia and the killing of people who are through undesirable. What does that mean? That means that, well, nowadays, okay, people who are very ill, terminally illness, okay, they say I'm very ill, but I had to fight, I had to continue, I have to do it. I have no more options. Maybe they will say, but if you say, okay, euthanasia is being approved, okay, people will say, okay, I'm not gonna go against this illness. I have this option. Is the easiest way out. Okay, let's go for euthanasia, and that would be all. But we can also add this. There is also religious arguments. Maybe if we would go for religious arguments, okay, maybe we can say that what it says in the Bible is not real, it's not true. People die, and that is the end. But let's assume that there is a God, there is a creator. Let's assume that what it says in the Bible is true, and which says that we are not the ones who give and take away life. Only God can do that. So if we go on religious arguments, euthanasia is against the word and will of God. Also, euthanasia weakens society's respect. Okay, I already said that. And religious people don't argue that we can kill ourselves or get others to do it. They know that we can do it because God has given us free will. However, their argument is that it will be wrong for us to do so. So, uh, myself, I don't know. I haven't been in that position of being illness, so I haven't had a person, a relative of mine, a person who I love, who is sick. But right now, here where I sit now, I wouldn't go for that because I would think, okay, what is going to happen after dying? Is it gonna be better for me or is it gonna be worse? So the question is open. Edith is raising her hand, so you go ahead.
I have a question for you.
Absolutely.
You consider that regardless of your belief and opinions, the agony, suffering of a person is dignified for the person and his or her family?
Yeah, well, I don't think so. But the thing is that here, the very same way that we didn't have the chance to choose to be born, we didn't choose to be born, we didn't choose to come to the world. We just came here. But the question is, how did we come here? Someone, if we go for religious beliefs, someone brought us to the world, and the same. I don't know if it is God according to your beliefs, each person's belief, but whoever it was, and then the power of nature or God or the matter or whatever you believe it is. So I think that power that brought us to life is the very same force that has to take away our life from us. So, in conclusion for your question, if we didn't decide to come to this world, we cannot decide when to leave. All right. So now I have another question for you guys. Any of you can answer question. So, what is
Okay.
your religious position towards the topic?
Uh, Partner, is general? Is the team?
Ge-
Oh,
Yeah, it's general.
okay.
Is a question for you guys who are against my motion, my position. So,
Okay.
first of all, so I have three questions, but I'm gonna give you two. The first, what is your religious position towards this topic? And the second, would you approve euthanasia for one of your loved ones? Okay, I have those two questions. You may go ahead and answer it if you will.
Hmm.
You want me
Can
to
you
repeat the questions? Okay, I will repeat the
yes.
question number one.
No,
What is your religious position towards the topic?
It's complicated. Is the positions is the position religion is complicate create arguments. What moment, please?
maybe. I'm not putting religion as a position because those who request to end their lives are obviously exercising their freedom. It's necessary to remember that it's often forgotten or ignored that the expression, the right of the of all to life unequivocally implies the right of each person to their own, including their end, not that of others, individual, society, state to decide on it. Only person depends of the person.
I answer you.
Thank you
According,
for your answer. And I have a question number two, which is, would you
Okay.
approve
I and
euthanasia for
me
one of
and
your...
me. My answer.
Oh, go. Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
Okay. From my religion position, I want aware that the fight must be fierce. Okay, but when think my position is the issues, I did not want the mix in up. Okay, is decisions personal and the passions terminals. Okay, is my position is the persons you my you decisions. Okay, is the for people or for personal decisions. Okay.
All right.
okay, classmate. According your question of religion, is wrong take your own life. The only one who has the power is God. But God gives us free will to do what we want freely. It's a decision personally.
All right.
I have a
So,
question for you.
absolutely, I'm ready for it.
Okay. Why do you do not agree that euthanasia be able to terminally ill people? Reply. Why you do not agree that euthanasia be able to terminally ill people?
Well, as I was telling at the beginning of presenting my arguments, because going with euthanasia has goes against ethical values, against practical values, against historical arguments, against religion position. So I don't go for euthanasia because of these reasons, because of religious, historical arguments, hmm, practical arguments, and ethical arguments. Basically, that is the reason why both of them.
Okay. Partner, uh, my question. Okay.
What is it?
Do you consider that a terminal patient should let the disease finish him off and know decide to apply euthanasia to wait, white, to white?
So, the thing is, the thing is, as I mentioned before, there's not a way to have an accurate regulation of this. Why? Because, for example, there are some people who they are on a in a bed. They are in bed for many years. I know that is so unhuman, that it is so painful. But who's going to design for to decide for that person? There are some people who they don't even have the option to speak or express their feelings. And then since they cannot, so then someone is gonna come out to take the decision for them, which is not the right path. So how are we gonna know if that person really wants to go for euthanasia, or it is someone else's decision from other parties, people who do not want to take care of their relatives. So it's very complicated to know that. So since there's not an accurate way of regulate how to go with it, so the best option to do here is to allow nature to continue with their path. You were putting the word that way. Let's allow nature, God, or sun, whoever you think your God is, to do whatever it has to do. That's it. Okay. And I have another question, my third and last question for you guys. So in the old ages, many years ago, when there was no technology, no injections to practice euthanasia, and there also was ill people, what would that people do? What would those people do? They would just have to continue. Then why do we have to do it now? Because of technology, because of power, because of the matter of people not having any time to take care of their family or don't having the money. In the oldest years, many years ago, people didn't even think about it, and they will continue with their lives without doing anything against it. So why are we going to change it now? So so to resume the question, it was so long. So in the old ages, what would people do?
Repeat,
A
please,
long time ago.
partner.
So that means a long time ago, when there was no technology, no injections, no possibilities to go all of this euthanasia thing, then what would people do?
Oh my
Is
gosh.
is
This
is
question
is
is
your
very
question
complicated.
is complicated? Is in my
um,
answer? Okay, Edith, you
I don't
first.
know. I don't know. I'm thinking.
Okay, and my opinion is they lack the size part in ay, and do here's life. Okay, is
All right.
it's simple. Okay, because big and terminal will also then.
All right, I see. Well, you guys answered my questions, and I will go with this conclusion for you. My conclusion towards this topic would be we didn't decide to be born, so we have not the power to decide when to die. That is my conclusion. You can go for yours as well. Okay, that was my conclusion. That's my whole conclusion. I repeat, if we didn't decide to live, we cannot decide to die.
Uh,
Euthanasia, guys, you can give your
it's
conclusion.
okay. It's complicated.
In
It's for
conclusion,
okay.
Yes, please share your conclusion,
if
girls. You already shared your
science,
arguments.
Okay. Everyone has to right to life, security, and liberty. However, it's impossible to consider life when there are a situation of extreme pain caused by illness, or a state where the patient is prostrate and unable to move and needs to be assisted by machines to keep going. This is where euthanasia appears as a merciful alternative, allowing the individual to stop suffering or unnecessary. The use is complex and each case is unique. Yeah. Respect for the patient's will is important. However, many times that will be can be emotionally affect and lets the patient to make decisions that um, they would not accept in principle. Um, those who request to leaves are obviously exercising their freedom. Thanks.
Partner.
my
So,
conclusion,
all right.
This
The
conclusion, I'm
next
happy.
conclusion.
Okay.
if science and technology have really affected as a create ideologies and device, they have changed and affect our generation. Anyway, we are free to do one we want. No more.
Okay, I'm nervous. I'm so nervous. Okay, my conclusion about the state in that is it is a more complex issues, but you have to understand the context or situation or the passions and their decisions is is not take into account the psychology, state of age, um, and their reasons for waiting the to the Gorting is pronunciation Gorting. Okay, to finish my conclusion.
All right, very good conclusions. What is next? It's okay. So those were our conclusions and our arguments.
Okay, so
Um,
guys, with that, we just finished this debate. Thank you so much. I want to share some feedback with you. I have to say that you prepared the topic. You did a really good research. I just wanted to congratulate you because it was like a really fluid communication during the whole debate. You were asking, you were answering, you were sharing your arguments. It was really fluid. Sorry. I heard some mispronounced words, but that didn't affect your speech. I could understand everything that you said before. I just took some notes about, for example, the word because, treatment, extremely, patient, and unable. those were like the only words that I could hear that it was like kind of mispronounced. But as I mentioned, guys, that didn't affect your speech. It was easy for you to understand your partners because yeah, you have a really fluid conversation. It was a really good debate. This is a really controversial topic. I think Gerson it was the only on the content, but he was prepared like for all the group, and he didn't need anything anybody else with him because he was able to control the topic, and he was able, well, alone to answer all your doubts and all your questions. So guys, thank you so much for attendance this debate for today. Thank you so much for participating, and you can see your scores on a couple of days on your platform.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, girls. Have a wonderful rest of your day and a happy Eastern week.
Yeah, happy Easter with take a rest.
Okay,
Bye
bye
bye.
bye.
Bye, teacher. Thank you for
Thank
your
you, teacher.
time, for your attention.
Thank you. You too. Bye bye.
Bye.